Good morning, guys. Right now we're in the midst of prepping a print for lamination, and this is the holy grail of your finished product. Doing all the print work where the robot's doing the work is easy. It's when we're doing the lamination gives you the actual clear coat effect, so to speak, on your finished product. Now, what I want to point out here is some of the tools that I prefer to use. Okay. First of all, you can see we've got our 3M tape. Everything I use is name brand. I don't cut corners on anything, just as if I was painting, same principle. The 3M tape holding down your material, your substrate, and then when you put your laminate on the 3M, it easily can be lifted up and removed and replaced if required. You can see how this laminate is laid on this. See how smooth it is? And why I like a gooseneck lamp is because I can take this and examine this whole sheet wherever I need to. Okay? This is the holy grail of understanding how to get a finished product that more or less resembles glass. Okay? Once again, I'm using a sheet of glass. Most end users won't use glass because it's too expensive. Why do we use glass? Well, we know how flat glass is. And of course, I use a water application method. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that in a second. But the towels we use that we sell in the store, again, we use more like a painter would as a tack cloth and come over this. We want to make sure our print is immaculate. If we see anything, and if you look right here, you can see a hair. It's very, very fine. Very fine. We peel up. And if your fingers are clean, you can use your fingers. The one thing I want to point out is that based on the printer model you're using, once again, we're using an Epson P7000. It's a pro level printer. That means that the inks are not formulated like a $200 or $300 inkjet. These are much more forgiving in terms of rubbing them or just lightly putting any pressure on them prior to lamination. If you're using a cheaper inkjet, you want to get a feel for actually cleaning off your graphic should you find any debris on it. What does that mean? That means that before you do a print this large, you'll print something small, test the ink for durability. Take a note from that. Okay? We take notes so that we don't have to waste substrate later on as we go through and say, okay, well, this worked, this didn't. Troubleshooting and putting together a formula for what actually creates success is something many people don't do. Especially in this industry, it's kind of hit and miss. We get repeatable results because, as you see here, with the proper tools in place, I can come over here once again, do full examination, and I'm all set. Now my next step, I'm going to show you something you've probably never seen in the industry, is that I use a straight edge ruler. And what I'm going to do by using a straight edge, and again a T-square, and I'm actually just coming over here, and you can see I overcut the laminate. Now, why did I overcut the laminate? Because if I overcut the laminate, it's going to protect this edge from any moisture. Now what we have here is a water barrier, because all of this is essentially working as masking tape. Let me show you a little secret. Once you hit this with a fine mist of water, you've just trapped every bit of dust just like a painter does when he's spraying a car. So guess what? Dust is gone. Once the laminator actually makes contact with its silicone roller, it's going to wipe your entire substrate clean as it laminates. You've never seen that anywhere because I know I'm the only one that uses it because there's nothing online about it. This is the secret to getting true pro lamination, manual lamination. I'm not talking about the guys using automatic laminators. This makes your job a joke, and you can see the light mist that we have applied to the substrate, and that water will just wipe right off. And now that we use the straight edge rulers, as I remove these, what you would find is that we have a clean edge, and that edge has no moisture. Okay? I'm going to hit this a little more because it's still a little dry. And you can do this really by getting a feel. Again, a fine mister with fine atomization. You can use an airbrush. You can use whatever you like, really. I just keep it high and go by, and that's it. And now what we do is we're going to lift these actual trace patterns off using the T-square as well as the straight edge, and then I just wipe the glass. And I have a perfectly ready to go laminate that I know once I go through the roller, I'm going to have a perfect finish. So again, my next step, and again, we're going to go and do this laminate so we can actually finish it up, is going to be spraying the lamp. I always miscoat the lamp so I trap any dust there. I miscoat actually the entire laminator, so I'm all set there. And I also miscoat my actual air vents if required, and that traps any dust in the air there. Once again, guys, you're essentially painting. The only difference is that painters have a much more forgiving atmosphere in terms that they can sand out runs, sand out any type of dust particulate. You can't. So using this method, which again you've never seen before, some guys say you're going overboard, we literally have about a 97-98% print rate as far as usable product. Most end users never achieve that with an actual regular manual laminator. So you can still see the water on there, you can see the taped edge, so to speak, and I'm all set. So again, guys, I hope that this video has been helpful. We get a lot of questions on lamination. This is the method I use. You use whatever method you like. It's not a cheap method because, again, if you invest in the sheet of glass, you're looking easily at about 150 bucks for it, depending on the size you're using. But I will say this, the glass pays for itself very, very quickly. It's the most perfectly flat surface. It's very easy to clean. It's very forgiving in terms of what you're working with, and it must be tempered. You don't want to naturally fracture it. You've got to use your head with that. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, require quotes or consultations, please message Joanna and I, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I hope that this video has been helpful. Thank you again. Take care.